Let us go to day 10, auto stop feature on SQL warehouse. SQL warehouses are powerful compute for SQL and BI workloads on Databricks Lakehouse. Built built as a warehouse, if it is left running idle, they can burn very high amount of CPU and resulting into a huge amount of bill. That's why there is an auto stop feature associated with it. The question related to auto stop feature is, which of the following is the benefit of using auto stop feature of Databricks SQL warehouse? So the warehouse is a huge amount of compute is needed to run a warehouse, right? So the most important thing that we want is the runtime of the warehouse should be as small as possible. Only when it is needed, the warehouse should be active, and the moment we stop using it, the warehouse should go to an inactive state. This will minimize the total runtime of a warehouse and therefore the total cost associated with running the warehouse. And therefore, the most appropriate answer is minimizes the total runtime of a warehouse, eventually leading to a cost saving. It has nothing to do with increasing the availability or security or performance. Everything related to auto stop feature is related to minimizing the runtime and therefore reducing the cost. What AutoStop actually does, it watches for inactivity in SQL warehouse after the ideal timeout. So you can go and set the ideal timeout also. Let's say ideal timeout, you set 10 minutes. So it will watch for 10 minutes. If there are no queries running for 10 minutes, it is going to go and shut down the entire warehouse automatically. One of the one of the major feature, as I mentioned, or the benefit that it achieves is cost savings, operational simplicity, and predictable behavior. Okay, and a real world example is, let's say most of the SQL warehouses on Lakehouse are used as a backend to BI tools. So BI team runs dashboard from, let's say, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day. Without AutoStop feature, warehouse would run all the day. Even though there is a peak activity during only a certain period of time, that is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., the entire warehouse would be active throughout the day if you don't set up the AutoStop feature. So what we generally do is we tell our teams that it's a best practice whenever you create a cluster or whenever you create a warehouse, make sure you set up the idle timeout, auto stop. So these are like different names to the feature, which helps you to achieve pay what you use and not excessively spend on the warehouse or DBU capacity when it is actually not needed. So this is the question that has come in the exam, like related to idle timeout. So using auto stop feature, we can minimize the total runtime of warehouse is the answer. Thank you for watching. Thanks.